Hello there, Vanessa. Alright, let's see. So the two pie charts show the World Care Organization data about the care ownership in 1995 in England and Scotland. Full stop. The pie chart describes an amount or the amount of VW sales from 1990 to 1998 in the same two countries. Much better. Much better. There's no reason this should not be split, okay? And there's every reason to split it because there's a lot of information there, and it could be sort of like a run-on as well. So just full stop there. New chunk of information. In Scotland, the lowest sector, 15%, was second-hand cars, while in England, these cars accounted for twice as much. Now it's clear. Good work. In contrast, the percentage of bought cars was considerably higher in London, 65%, than in England, 35%. Good. Shared cars were roughly the same in amount, both in Scotland and England, 20% and 15% respectively. Now this is a million times better, okay? And don't worry if it takes you 2 or 3 hours to write it. First we're going to focus on the quality, then once we get into the habit of writing high quality work like this, then it's much easier to focus on time, okay? Well done for using the comparisons, very good, and this is much more logical, the explanation, so good work there. Throughout the period, the number of VW sales in England was around 240,000, except for the first and for the last 2 years, when sales reached its highest amount at almost 300,000. And for 1995, when sales dropped to just under 210,000. Okay, so once again, let's see. Full stop. In 1995, sales dropped to just under 210,000. Okay, because there's a lot of information, same issue as before, so just split it up. Also, okay, this is alright, 240,000. Okay, we can also, actually, yeah, we did vary it, so that's fine. In contrast, Scotland made considerably less sales, or had considerably less sales, which, comma, crossing 180,000 only in 1990, 94 and 1995, and that's fine. Good work, much better. The three pie charts compare IMF's data about the income in 2014 for Bensland, Timsland and Jimsland. Full stop. That's fine. The largest income, 90,000 million USD, came from services in Jimsland country. Good, while this sector accounted for more than half lower income in Timsland. Okay. While this sector accounted for more than a half lower. Well, we can't say that. Yeah, I would have just carried on with this. While this sector accounted for 45 million in Timsland and 15 million in Bensland. The second largest income was in Timsland country, coming from the heavy industry, with 75,000 million USD. Good, contrary to the other two countries where this sector accounted for only 15,000 million. Fantastic. Very good sentence there. The lowest income for all three countries came from the natural resources, between 3 and 7,000 million USD. Good. While the greatest differences were in income from the light industry, from 10,000 million in Bensland, we don't need from, 4 times more in Timsland and 7 times more in Jimsland country. Good. That's very good use of the fancy sentences. Very good work there, Vanessa. Finally, agriculture accounted for 45, 15 and 35,000 million in USD, Bensland, Timsland, Jimsland country respectively. Very, very good. Excellent work. This a million times better than the original ones. So good work there, Vanessa. What I want you to do now is, because we've obviously studied the task 1s and you've made a massive improvement, I want you to find 2 more graphs 2 more graphs and our charts, and then send them to me and I'll correct them. And if you want to have a look at some amazing academic sort of like graph reports, go to Economist. I think it's Economist Intelligence Units and our daily report, and then they've got some really good graphs there, and it's exactly the style that we want to be aiming for, the reports on the graphs. So great work, keep the work coming, all the best.